Hello and welcome to our Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky first chapter playthrough. This game has been in my library for more years than I care to mention, and I have never fully explored it. So, yeah, we're going to do that now, I guess you'd say. Right. Let's see. Yes, and unfortunately, well, given it was 2004, there's only battle voices. So, yeah, let's get started, shall we? Yes, I'm chickening out with normal. Young Estelle says, Daddy's really late. I even got a message from the guild saying he'd be home today too. And Shera's gone travelling around the kingdom on some kind of training. I'm so bored. Maybe I'll just practice with my staff a bit more before dinner. Man's voice. Hey, I'm home. Estelle says, Daddy. Cassius says, sorry to have kept you waiting, Estelle. Did you take good care of the house while I was away? Estelle giggles. Of course I did, Daddy. Did you run into any trouble, Daddy? You didn't get hurt fighting the bad monsters, did you? Cassius says, nope, I'm fit as a fiddle. That reminds me though, I bought you a present. Estelle says, really? What kind of present? A new fishing pole, sneakers, something for my training? Cassius sighs. Maybe I raised you wrong, Estelle. Aren't little girls supposed to like clothes and jewellery? Estelle says, I like pretty clothes, but they just get dirty. And jewellery breaks when you go play outside with it on. Anyway, Daddy, what's with the big blanket? Is that my present? Cassius says, oh, you're a sharp one. Now why don't you come have a look? Oh, there's a boy in his hands who appears to be knocked out. Estelle says, what? Cassius says, well, here you are. Quite a handsome boy, don't you think? Estelle mutters, whoa, 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 whoa. Why is my present a boy? Cassius says, don't make such a fuss, or you'll wake him up. Estelle counters with, wake him up? You mean he's still alive? Looks kind of dead if you ask me. Cassius says, I've treated his wounds, so he should be in stable condition. In the meantime, however, we'll need to let him rest. I'll put him to bed, so if you wouldn't mind heating a kettle of water on the stove, I'd appreciate it. Estelle says, okay. Estelle says he sure sleeps soundly. That would be a tongue twister. And was. And he almost looks the same age as me. This is the first time I've ever seen black hair like that too. Cassius says he certainly does have a nice head of dark hair. And a pair of amber eyes to go with it. Estelle says, That's nice and all, but how about you come clean and fess up? Cassius repeats, fess up? Estelle says, yeah, who is this kid anyway? And why is he hurt? Why did you bring him to our house? Is he an illegitimate child or something? Did you betray Mummy? Cassius asks, where have you been picking up these kinds of words? No doubt from Scheherazade, I assume. Estelle says, yep, that's right. Cassius says, for heaven's sake, that girl is going to get me into trouble one of these days with all her nonsense. Actually, I just met this boy while I was out on business, and I don't even know his name. Estelle asks, you mean bracer business? Cassius says, something like that. Oh, look. Estelle asks, huh? Cassius says he's waking up. The boy goes, Estelle says, wow, his eyes really are the colour of amber. The boy goes, I presume he's a zombie at this point. Where am I? Cassius says, so you're awake now, are you? Welcome to my humble home. You'll be safe here, so please just try to rest. The boy holds his tongue. What are you trying to pull? Estelle asks, huh? The boy says, you must be out of your mind. Why? Why didn't you just leave me there to die? Cassius repeats, why? Now that's a question I don't know how to answer. Does things just worked out that way work for you? The boy shouts, don't toy with me, Cassius Bright. Do you have any idea what you're getting yourself involved in? Estelle says, hey! And promptly kicks the boy. You're sure shouting a lot for someone who's supposed to be hurt. Running your mouth like that is just going to make it longer for your body to heal. The boy looks slightly abashed. And just who are you supposed to be? Estelle says, I'm Estelle. Estelle Bright. Cassius says, she's my daughter. Don't you remember me telling you that I have a daughter your age? The boy says, now that you mention it, wait a minute, don't try and change the subject. He's a boy trampoline, apparently. The boy says, ow! Estelle says, quit yelling! The boy says, all right already. But you jumping on me like that isn't going to make me heal any faster either. Estelle says, I don't hear you yelling again, do I? The boy says, look, jumping on me like that is just going to make things worse. Estelle says, do I hear yelling? The boy says, never mind, just forget it. Cassius says, as a word of advice, it would be wise not to argue with Estelle while you're in this house. Even I wouldn't stand a chance if I made her mad enough. The boy agrees, yeah, I can see that. Estelle asks, by the way, aren't you forgetting something? The boy says, huh? Estelle says, your name, you know, that thing that people call you. I told you mine already, so don't you think it would be unfair and impolite not to tell me yours? She has a point, I suppose. The boy says, Cassius says, it seems like the logical thing to do, if you ask me. Trying to hide it now would only serve to your detriment. The boy says, fine. My name is... Fade to black. I do love those hand-drawn opening titles from late 90s, early 2000s JRPGs. They're just a bit of nostalgia, but at the same time it looks better than the current anime that's being drawn, at least to me. I know it's taste and whatever, it looks like more effort was put into it, is where I'm going there. Anyway, Estelle is now adult-ish Estelle, and she's just woken up. And so she says, it's so bright in here. Let's out a big yawn. I slept like a rock. That must mean it's Dad's turn to cook this morning. I wonder if that means Joshua's still in bed. Guess that's a no. Well, I guess I better get myself ready then too. Estelle says, nice, Joshua. Bravo. Joshua says, good morning, Estelle. I hope I didn't wake you. Estelle says, no, I was already up when I heard you start to play. I can't believe how awake you are, though. Even the roosters still have bags under their eyes. Not that I mind. What with that siren song of yours gently lulling this beautiful woman from her slumber? Joshua says, what do you mean, woman? We're the same age and I'm hardly a man. Estelle says, how wrong you are, Joshua. We may be the same age, but I am clearly the woman of the house. And that makes you something like my loyal follower, wouldn't you agree? Joshua agrees, yeah, how fortunate for you. Estelle says you could at least try and sound a tiny bit sincere. It really is a nice tune though, cheerful yet somehow wistful. I like your other songs too, of course, but this one's my favourite. What's it called again? Joshua replies, The Whereabouts of Light. Estelle says, that's right, The Whereabouts of Light. I wish I could play the harmonica like you, Joshua. Sadly, it's a lot harder than it looks. Joshua replies, compared to what it takes to use a staff, I think the harmonica is much easier. It's really just a matter of concentration. Estelle says, you're probably right. I guess my problem is just that if I don't do something that uses my whole body, I start to feel drowsy. Okay, playing the harmonica is fine and all, but how about getting some exercise too? All your hobbies are sitting around kind of stuff like reading and music. No girl is going to be impressed with just that. Getting sort of Oscar Langley saw you vibes here. Joshua says anyway, well, excuse me for being so unpopular with the ladies. Although I feel like I should be the one lecturing you about your hobbies. I mean, what kind of boy wants a girl who loves fishing, collecting bugs, and has a fetish for sports shoes? Estelle just lowers her gaze and says, that's enough talk about hobbies for now. And for your information, I graduated from bug collecting a long time ago. Joshua says, really? I'll believe that when I stop finding beetles in the hallway. Man's voice, I presume it's Cassius. Hey Estelle, Joshua. Estelle says, morning, Dad. Joshua says, "Good morning, Dad. Is breakfast ready?" Cassius replies, "It's ready and waiting. Why don't the both of you hurry on down before it gets cold?" Estelle replies, "Okay." Joshua says, "I'm on my way." Estelle says, "Thanks for the grub, Dad. Boy, am I stuffed." Joshua asks, "Are you eating or inhaling, Estelle?" Estelle says, "Like people say, kids who eat and sleep a lot grow a lot." Cassius says, "Well, make sure you get enough to eat, but don't forget to pour that energy into your work too. That reminds me, you two are finishing up your training at the guild today, aren't you?" Joshua says, "That's right. It'll be a review of everything we've learned up to this point." Estelle says, "And once we're finished, we'll be bracers just like you, Dad. That means I'm not going to let you treat me like a kid anymore either." Cassius replies, "You still lack understanding, Estelle." "Judge me by my size, do you?" "You can only become a junior bracer in the beginning, or in other words, a trainee. If you want to be treated like an adult, then you should work extra hard in your training to become a full-fledged bracer." Estelle replies, "Well, I'm not afraid of a little hard work. Just you watch and see what I'm capable of, Dad. I'll be so successful that it won't be long before I pass you too." Cassius replies, "That's the spirit. Let's see what you're made of then, shall we?" Joshua sighs, "Let's not start a rivalry here, you two. And Estelle, keep your focus on the task at hand. We have a test later on today, remember?" "Huh?" says Estelle. "Wait, what test?" Joshua groans, "Please tell me that you didn't forget about the test, Estelle. You know, the one that checks whether or not we've mastered the skills we've been learning in training. Don't you remember Shara saying that if we failed, we'd be stuck with a ton of extra homework?" Estelle says, "Crap, totally forgot. Now that you mention it, I guess I kind of remember her saying something like that. Don't sweat it. I'm sure we'll manage somehow or other." Joshua sighs, "I honestly don't know how you survived this long, Estelle. Your brain is like a sieve." Cassius sighs, "Papa is sad. How could any child of mine end up with such a careless, over-optimistic personality?" Estelle says, "Ha! You're the one that raised me, so I definitely got it from you." Joshua sighs, "I swear the two of you act so much alike, but whatever. We should probably head over to the guild soon, Estelle. Shara's going to be waiting there for us." Estelle says, "Sounds like a plan. You know how crazy scary she gets when someone keeps her waiting." Estelle says, "Oh, before I forget, it's my turn to cook dinner tonight. Is there anything in particular you'd like to eat, Dad? Any requests?" Cassius ponders. Something I'd like to eat, huh? Ponders some more. How about Rohan-style scalloped fish in a balsamic vinegar sauce? Estelle asks, "What's that?" Joshua says, "I think that's little more than Estelle's cooking skills can handle, or our stomachs." Cassius laughs, "You're right. I just wanted to see what kind of reaction I could get. I'll just have the usual fried fish and omelette. No need for anything fancy, but do try to make something edible." Ouch. Estelle pouts, "How rude. But I can't actually say he's wrong." Double ouch. Cassie says, actually I do have one favour to ask before you head out. I'd like you to pick me up a copy of the Liberal News from the general goods store. They're supposed to be getting the latest edition in today. Estelle says, got it. One copy of the Liberal News from the general goods store. We received 500 mira, which I presume are this world's gil, as in money. Cassia says, if there's any money left over, you can have it as your allowance. Gee, that's an expensive newspaper. However, that means no wasteful spending. Estelle cheers. All right, thanks, Dad. Joshua waves goodbye. Okay, we're heading out now. See you later, Dad. Cassius replies, work hard and gives Scheherazade my regards. And we can move. So, as in all RPGs, loot it blind. If there is anything to loot. It's a nice quick transition. Come on, are you trying to tell me you have nothing? Estelle must have something in her room. Oh. No, we don't need to rest. We just got up. Still, that's handy to know. We can rest in Estelle's bed. Oh, chest. No. So circle is open the menu. Okay, fine. I'll remember that for later. And we can sleep in what I assume is Joshua's bed as well. You know, it's very naughty leaving all these treasure chests about but not putting anything in them. There's a standing log for staff practice. Ooh. They're all for staff practice, I would assume. Can we chop wood? No. Alright. Let's leave home for now. We're on the Elise Highway. Ooh. And you can just hold it down and make everyone dizzy. And the right stick rotates as well. There we go. Okay, so west is the Bright House. North, Rolent, 49 Selgi. Marms. South Guruna Gate, 289 Marms. 259 Marms. I'm presuming we're not going south. So, and we're in the city of Rolent. Joshua says, it looks like we made good time. Not too early or too late either. Estelle says, we just barely graduated from Sunday school. I never dreamed we'd have to study so hard to become braces. Joshua says, well, you're in luck. Today's the last day of our training. Truth be told, though, you're the one who signed up to be a bracer in the first place, so I don't know why you'd expect to get away with any less effort. Estelle says, oh yeah, I guess I did. All right then, let's get to it and make it through this last hazing from Shera. Joshua smiles and says, you look ready to me. Let's go meet with Shera at the Bracer Guild over there then. Okay. That's items and food, that's weapons. The thing that says guild would be the guild. Place of clocks. Okay, well, first thing, read on general goods. Let's see if we can get the paper. Estelle says, good morning, Mr. Renon. Renon says, hello there, Estelle and Joshua. You're up rather early today. Did you come to buy a new pair of shoes? Estelle says, now that you mention it, are there any new ones in stock? You know, like the newest Stragers? Joshua sighs, unbelievable. You've actually already forgotten why we came in here to begin with. We're not here to shop. We're supposed to be buying a copy of the Liberal News for Dad, right? Estelle says, of course. That. Renon says, haha, you've always been a big collector of those shoes, haven't you, Estelle? I'm afraid the new Stragers aren't out yet. If you're after the latest edition of the Liberal News, though, I should have them around noon. Estelle says noon, huh? That's right in the middle of our training at the Guild House. Joshua says we'll stop by again after our training is over. Renon says, sure, I'll be waiting for you. Oh, I can't even loot your store either. That's a bit of a shame. Let's see if Mr. Elgar over here has anything he wants to part with. Although probably shouldn't, given that we need tons of gil for the paper for some reason. Fremont says, I'm just on my way over to the forest of Mistwall to the south of here for work. There was a merchant from Bowes who came here to buy lumber. I need to get enough ready for the order I received. So I'm assuming that he's the village forester or what have you. Anyway, the guild, the Rolent Bracers Guild. Aina says, there you two are. Good morning, Estelle. Good morning, Joshua. Estelle says, morning, Aina. Joshua nods, good morning. Estelle asks, is Shera here already? Yes, she's upstairs waiting for you, says Aina. Once you finish today's training, you'll finally be recognised as members of the Bracer Guild. Good luck to the both of you. Estelle says, thanks. Joshua replies, we'll do our best. So I guess we're going upstairs. Scheherazade concentrates. The Star and the Hanged Man. The Hermit and the Magician. And last of all, Inversion through the Wheel of Fortune. This is a difficult combination. How should I interpret this? Estelle shouts, good morning, Shera. Scheherazade says, well, if it isn't Estelle and Joshua. This is a rare occasion for the both of you to show up so early. Estelle replies, since it's my last day of training, I figured, why not? I'm ready to get the show on the road and become a bracer myself. Scheherazade frowns. I'll give you credit for your enthusiasm, but I'm going to work you hard today in every way I can think of to make sure that high-spirited attitude of yours holds up. I hope you're ready. Estelle pouts. I can feel that enthusiasm dropping already. Scheherazade says, quiet you. Every time I teach you something, you somehow manage to forget it. This training is my way of trying to keep some of that information in your head instead of letting it trickle out of your ears like it usually does. Estelle cries, wah, Joshua, Shira's picking on me. Joshua laughs and shakes his head. Don't worry, Shira. Whilst Estelle may hate studying and rarely ever does her homework, acts rashly, is overly naive, and has a tendency to stick her nose into everything, her instincts are sharp, so I'm sure she'll pick up on how to use an orbment with some practice. Eventually. Probably. Scheherazade says, I guess that's not much. There's not much I can do now except hope for the best. Estelle is not happy. Hold on a sec, Joshua. Somehow I get the feeling that you weren't standing up for me. Joshua laughs. Well, that's odd. I'm positive I described all your best traits accurately. Estelle sighs. Whatever. By the way, Shira, what were you trying to predict with your tarot cards? Your face was really intent. Scheherazade says, oh, this. I was just trying to get a vague reading about what might happen in the near future. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have been in the right mindset to interpret the cards correctly. Estelle asks, you couldn't read the cards? Joshua frowns. Now that's surprising to hear. Scheherazade goes on. Actually, the more profound the meaning of the cards, the more difficult they become to interpret. But that's not important now. I think it's time we start your final training. I'll give you a brief rundown of all the information we've covered in your previous training. This is the minimal level of knowledge the bracers should have in order to function effectively. And Estelle, make sure you pay especially close attention to what I'm going to say. Estelle groans, yeah. Scheherazade asks, what would you like to know? Let's ask about orbments. Orbments are mechanical devices which operate by using what is known as orbal energy. A variety of effects can be produced depending on their structure and the type of quartz or process septium installed. Although it's only been about 50 years since their invention, these devices play an integral role in all facets of life, from lights, heaters and other everyday products to weapons, magic and even airships. In connection, this technological reform is commonly known as the Orbal Revolution. Now we're going to ask about bracers. Bracers are investigative and combat specialists who work to protect civilians and maintain the stability of their respective regions. They aid the community in various ways, such as exterminating monsters, preventing crime, finding lost items, and escorting people and goods. The Bracer Guild, which has established branches across the continent, manages the affairs of the bracers in each region. And now we're going to ask about the Liberl Kingdom. The Kingdom of Liberl, in which we live, sits on the western half of the Semurian continent and abounds with nature and deep-rooted traditions. Liberl is proud to be one of the leading producers of septium on the continent and is known for its high level of technology used to develop orbments. Orbment technology has also been a key pillar of support for Liberl in protecting its independence as it has contended with neighbouring nations. 10 years ago, when Nibel was invaded by the Erebonian Empire, the Erebus Empire, it was the use of orbital-powered airships that saved the kingdom from defeat. Consequently, even now, our relationship with the Empire is somewhat sensitive, but thanks to the Queen's political finesse, Nibel enjoys peace. And that's all we need to know, apparently. Scheherazade says, let's see. Since we've got a mountain of stuff to do today, I'll let you off the hook this time with a condensed review. I'm going to speed things up now and move on to the practical portion of your training. Estelle asks, Shera? How is today's practical training any different from the training we've done before? Scheherazade says, since it's practical, it means you'll be experiencing things firsthand. Therefore, I'm going to have the both of you run through everything as if this were a real bracer job. Estelle says, so what you're saying is, there won't be any studying at a desk involved? Scheherazade replies, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. This time you'll have to go out and make a physical effort to accomplish your task. I'll make sure to have you work up a sweat, so I hope you're ready. Estelle shouts, yes, that's seriously just what the doctor ordered. I didn't know what I was going to do if I had to sit another day with my tush parked at a desk. I guess I got all worried for nothing. Joshua says, well, suddenly you're all bright and cheerful, Estelle. Scheherazade says, let's just hope that smile on your face lasts until the end of today's training. Okay, let's get cracking on your first objective, shall we? Estelle nods, let's have at it. Scheherazade says, your first objective will be to confirm the details of the job you will be performing. But before that, there is something that we need to give the both of you. Aina, are they ready? Aina replies, yes, they are. Scheherazade says, all right, you two, go get one for each of yourselves. Aina says, these are very important, so make sure not to lose them. We both received a bracer notebook. Scheherazade says, bracer notebooks serve as the official way to record the status of your current jobs. Also, anything you may hear or anything that you may find and where. These kinds of trivial things can often become clues. No matter how insignificant something may seem, always write it down. Joshua says, understood. Estelle mutters under her breath, crap, this sounds like it's going to be a pain. Scheherazade asks, oh, please tell me it was my ears playing tricks on me, because I swear I only got one response. Estelle laughs nervously, I'm sure that there were two. Scheherazade says, keeping an accurate account of events is an important duty for all bracers. So get with the program and stop trying to make this out to be more than it really is, Estelle. Estelle sighs, okay, I got it. Scheherazade says, make sure you do. Alright then, let's begin. Look over there by the door. You can see that there is a bulletin board standing there. First, I want you to go and check the job description posted there. When the bulletin board is approached, an exclamation mark will appear. Pressing the OK button will display the job list. By selecting the job names on the list, you can view their details. Training, retrieval, new. Client Scheherazade, pay 500 mira, details direct request. This training will involve searching the sewers beneath Relent and bringing back the contents of a chest. See Scheherazade for details. Apparently it's a long-term contract as well. Details of the job confirmed on the bulletin board and other important events will be automatically recorded in the Bracer's notebook. The Bracer notebook can be easily found by clicking on the Books tab in the Items menu. It can also be accessed by configuring a Bracer book shortcut button on the Configuration menu. Scheherazade says, "Very good. It looks like you were able to see what was posted without any trouble." Checking the bulletin board is one of the most basic functions a Bracer performs in their job. Checking regularly to see whether or not there are any urgent tasks which need immediate attention is also an important duty for Bracers. Estelle sighs, "Man, all this talk about duty is starting to cramp my style." Joshua says, "Sure, there are a lot of rules to follow, but there's an equal level of responsibility in the jobs themselves. I think being a Bracer calls for much more than just someone with a half-hearted attitude." Estelle says, "I guess you're right. I'll just have to be more motivated." Scheherazade says, "Is that so? Had a change of heart, have you?" Estelle says, "You betcha." Scheherazade says, "Well, before all that motivation sneaks off somewhere, let's get to work on your next task." Joshua asks, "What will we be doing this time?" Scheherazade says, "We'll be heading across the street to Mr. Melder's Orbital factory and learning about how to use its services. He has graciously taken time out of his work schedule to explain things, so make sure to be on your best behaviour." Estelle says, "Okay." And we are in Mr. Melder's Orbital factory. Scheherazade says, "Here is where you will learn how to use an Orbital factory's services. At an Orbital factory, you can modify your augments and synthesize support quartz in order to use Orbital arts. Arts have a wide range of effects, and if mastered, can be extremely helpful. The Bracer business is a pretty risky occupation, so the Guild has a long-standing relationship with these Orbital factories. Anyway, this is about as much as I can explain. I'll leave the technical details to the expert. So, Mr. Melders, if you wouldn't mind taking over from here." Melders says, "No problem, leave everything to me." So what is it that you would like to know about? Okay, what are orbaments? Orbaments are mechanical devices which exhibit an array of effects through the installations of various types of quartz. By definition, that means that lights, airship engines, and so on are also types of orbaments. However, the ones we will be discussing today are battle orbaments, which enhance the user's physical abilities and make it possible to use magic. Since each orbment is adjusted to match let's start that again. Since each orbment is adjusted to match the owner's personal aptitude, the structures for these devices also differ for each owner. Simply put, the shape of the fixed elemental slots and lines which connect them vary. At any rate, that's the layman's explanation. In order to install quartz, you must first have an open slot. By default, the central slot is open, but the other slots must be opened at an Orbital factory like this. It'll take a fair amount of Sepith too. EP, which is needed for magic, will also see a max increase according to the number of open slots. I recommend opening them all as soon as possible. So what is it that you would like to know about? Orbital arts. Simply put, Orbital arts are magic which can be discharged exclusively through the use of battle augments. In other words, a number of peculiar effects can be produced by using the orbal energy stored within these mechanical devices. Since orbal arts can be a mouthful, they're almost universally referred to as arts. Probably ought to have been called that from the get-go. There are several types of arts, but in order to be able to use them, their corresponding quartz must first be synthesized at an orbal factory. Augments are also set up so that once a particular quartz is installed into a slot, the owner will be able to use those arts. The type of arts one can use also changes depending on the elemental value and the combination of installed quartz. Basically, if you want to use water arts, all you have to do is install quartz with a water elemental value. In reality, augments are much more complex than what I have described, but I think this information should suffice for now. So what is it that you would like to know about? Quartz. Quartz are circuits made from sepith. Quartz have a vast number of effects and raise the owner's abilities, while simultaneously making it possible for them to use arts. However, you will not be able to harness any of these effects until quartz has been installed into a slot. However, there are also fixed slots in which only a certain type of elemental quartz can be installed. This being the case, when you synthesize a new quartz, be sure to check your augment and decide where you'll be installing it ahead of time. So what is it that you would like to know about this sepith stuff? Sepith are fragments of septium which are dropped by monsters. They are divided into 7 types: earth, brown, water blue, fire red, wind green, time black, space gold, and mirage silver. Sepith can be exchanged for mirror almost anywhere, but at the orbal factory it can be used to synthesize quartz and open augment slots in which to install the synthesized quartz. And I think we know all we can from you for the moment. Scheherazade says, "It looks like Mr. Melders has answered all your questions. If there's nothing else, then let's have you both try and use the services here. For that, you're going to need some sepith." We received several of each type of elemental sepith. With that amount, you two should be able to synthesize a few quartz. Now, I want you to begin by first making an elemental quartz that will work with each of your particular augments. In your case, Estelle, any elemental quartz is okay, but for you, Joshua, it has to be a time elemental quartz. Normally at a shop you'll be able to exchange sepith for mirror, but for this training you'll not be able to use this service. Upon approaching the counter, a talk mark will appear. Pressing the OK button will display a list of options. Select Modify or Trade to use the Orbal Factory services, which I assume is you. Builder says, "Oh, good work so far. If you need to use the Orbal Factory, give Freddy a holler over there." That must be Freddy here. Freddy says, "Hi there, it looks like you two are doing well in your training. If you'd like to modify your organs, please select the Modify Trade service," which we shall do. Wow, we only have 20 sepith of each. Okay. Oh, okay. So in order to open another one, we need 30 of the top 4 sepith for Estelle, and the same for Joshua. Okay, so don't do slots, we can do chords. So we need a time. So we'll synthesize action 1 for Joshua. Now, Estelle. I think I'm going to go with attack 1 for Estelle. Just because it's what she sounds like. Alright. Okay. Although, seeing as we do have the Sepith for it, let's just take them all and alter as necessary. Scheherazade says, alright, it looks like you're able to synthesize one. Next, I want you to increase the arts you can use. Now, install a quartz into your augments so that you can use both recovery and attack arts. Quartz can be installed in the augment screen. The augment screen can be utilized by selecting the augment tab in the main menu. Status, equip augment. Let's equip Joshua with an action 1. Which gives him Clock Up and Soul Blur. Clock Up. Yeah. Oh, that must be Haste. Speeds up the flow of time. And Soul Blur. Emits a time-space shaking pulse. Faint 20%. So triangle is the Brace's notebook. Yeah, Estelle's augments. I'm curious what Aqua Bleed is. Tier. Heals 200 HP for an ally. Or Aqua Bleed is shoots a heavy stream of water at enemies. Oh. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. For now, because Scheherazade wanted us to learn healing too, didn't she? Scheherazade says, alright, it looks like you've got both recovery and attack arts set up. If you balance your arts out between each other like you've done here, it should make dealing with monsters much easier. Additionally, your Bracer notebooks contain information about which quartz allows you to use which arts. If you'd like to use more powerful arts, check out the arts and quartz charts in your Bracer notebooks and find something that works for you. Alright, our training here is almost finished. Last of all, I'm going to have one of you open a new slot in your augments. The more slots you have available, the broader range of choices you'll have. Since EP, which is consumed by using arts, can have its max value increased by opening up slots, it would be a good idea to open them all early on. Now, I want you to use this Sepith and open a slot on each of your augments. Go ahead and decide which slots you're going to open. Receive several of each type of elemental Sepith. Okay, so we need a slot for Joshua. So Joshua can get both with all courts okay. And Estelle can get both with all courts okay. Alright then. Let's go with Joshua. And open slot 6, I think. Then... Actually... Oh, I see. Oops, no. There are a few, combinations, aren't there? Just a few. Right. Interesting way to handle everything. Agility +1. Scheherazade says, good work on opening up a slot, Joshua. Since your central slot is limited to a certain element, it would be best to increase your Orbin's number of open slots early on. This concludes your training here at the Orbal Factory. Now it's time to move on to what you've both been waiting for, the qualification test. Estelle asks, pardon? Did you just say test? Joshua groans. You can't honestly tell me that you forgot about the test again, can you? Didn't I remind you just this morning? Estelle laughs nervously. Now that you mention it, I vaguely remember some sort of talk along those lines at the breakfast table. Scheherazade groans. Sometimes I fear for the future of the Bracer Guild and humanity. Oh well, no sense in worrying about that now. Let's head over to the testing area. Estelle gasps. You mean like now? I don't know if I'm ready for... Scheherazade asks angrily, how about a little less yapping and a little more walking? And drags Estelle away. Estelle yells, Joshua, help me. Joshua says, Mr. Melders, Freddie, thank you for all your help. Melders says, don't mention it, and good luck with that test of yours. Freddie says, we'll be rooting for you. Estelle shouts, I'm going to remember that you left me high and dry like this, Joshua. Scheherazade says, all your training has finally come down to this. Your qualification test will begin here. I expect to see you both use what you've learned up to this point. Joshua salutes. Understood. Estelle can't speak. Joshua asks, what is wrong, Estelle? Estelle asks, Shira? Scheherazade asks, what now? Estelle asks, I was kind of wondering, but is there not going to be a paper test or something? Scheherazade sighs. Did Cassius drop you on your head as a child or something? You just read what it said on the bulletin board not that long ago, right? Estelle asks, yeah, and? Scheherazade said, and I even made you jot down what you read in your brace of notebooks, unless you've got that too. I'm pretty sure the job listing mentioned searching for and retrieving an item from the sewers. Ringing any bells yet? Estelle gasps. What a relief. Oh, divine adios. Adios? Adidas. O divine Adidas, I give thanks to thee for thy infinite grace in bestowing upon us such wonderful gifts as sewers. Would not want Adidas going down there. Joshua asks, so what you're really saying is that you thought it was a paper test. No wonder you were acting all crazy back at the Orbital factory. Estelle grins. I can already feel the nostalgia. All those horrible days stuck in a classroom starting to feel like grand memories instead. Joshua sighs. I'm really starting to wonder if we'll even be able to graduate at all. Estelle asks, what's wrong with you? Why do you have to go and say something like that when I'm trying to reminisce about positive things? Scheherazade snaps. Alright, that's enough jabbering, you two. This is supposed to be a test, so how about the both of you try to at least look a little anxious? Just so you know though, if you do happen to flunk the test, you don't even want to imagine the kind of homework I have in store for the both of you. Estelle gives the thumbs up. Hey, we'll be fine. Just tell us what you want us to do and let us loose. Scheherazade sighs. Well, if you're so confident, then how about proving that you're not just blowing hot air with the results of your test? Anyway, as you both saw on the bulletin board, this test will be a search conducted in Roulette sewers. Your objective is to retrieve the contents of a chest which has been placed somewhere within that area. The layout of the sewers is extremely simple, so you don't need to worry about getting lost either. However, there are real, living, breathing monsters down there, so if you get careless and let down your guard, you will be sorry. Also, let me give you this before I forget. We receive tier balm by 3, so 3 tier balms, whatever they do, and a monster guide. Estelle asks, what's this book for? Scheherazade says, it's called a monster guide, and it's used to record information about monsters and other opponents you meet. Whenever you figure out an enemy's attributes, you should make an immediate note of it in there. Joshua says, sounds pretty straightforward to me. He who controls the flow of information controls the tide of battle, right? Scheherazade smiles. That's exactly what I'm saying. You've really got a good head on your shoulders, Joshua. Estelle nods. That's some pretty useful advice. Thanks for the tip, Shira. Joshua says, we'll put it to good use. Estelle nods. Alrighty then. Let's get pumped and knock out this test. Joshua agrees. Let's. Don't forget though, this is an exam. We should make sure we treat it as such. bombs. Heal 200 HP each. Okay, and there's the monster guide. And a map of the kingdom. Nice. Gee, that is a lot of locations that we might have to go to. Anyway. Joshua says there appears to be a recovery point set up over there. Let's use it if our HP and EP become low before engaging in any further battles. Orbment charging stations are recovery points set up in dangerous areas. As a recovery point is approached, an exclamation mark will appear and two choices will be displayed by pressing the OK button. By selecting the rest option, all HP and EP will be restored. Estelle says, sounds like a plan to me. Let's rest because I accidentally used heal, and Joshua has an additional 30 odd EP, and that looks like a monster. Estelle says, monsters at 12 o'clock. Joshua advises, be careful not to let them take advantage of your blind side. Estelle nods. Got it. Monsters cannot be seen from far away. They will become visible as you approach them. The conditions at the start of a battle will change depending on how a monster is engaged. Engaging an enemy from behind is advantageous, while being attacked by an enemy from behind is disadvantageous. Sorry, I like this battle theme quite a lot. Parts of it, I can hear parts of Cruel Angel's Thesis, which was the opening theme for Neon Genesis Evangelion, which I'm sure is just down to me wanting to hear that in there. But yeah. Anyway, the Battle Order Bar, which is essentially the conditional turn-based attack system from Final Fantasy X indicates who attacks first. It starts from the top and moves down. So we can attack, we can move, we have an item, or we can run away. We're not going to run away, obviously. And we need to move in order to attack. So we can bring Estelle in there. And try and move Joshua behind if we can. Now, Estelle is going to attack an enemy. You may also use it to move if you are using a mouse and click an empty location. Well, we're using a controller, so no. The highlighted area indicates the distance a character can move. Selecting a target in this area will move the character to attack. When an enemy is out of range, a downwards orange arrow with a blue slash through it icon will appear on your cursor. So selecting an out of range attack target will move the character as close to it as possible, but no attack will be performed. And Joshua's going to attack. And it is down, and we have a chest. How odd. Very sure that Joshua could use arts. Okay, Joshua, you two attack him. Ooh. And he moved. And Estelle can attack him too.
Alright, we rule!
While level 3s, we got 10 EXP and we have 115 next to level 4. Go us. And we got some sippets. And 2 juicy bones. Yummy! Oh, what are you? Estelle shouts, "Here comes some more!" Joshua says, "Depending on the enemy, some physical attacks may be ineffective. Let's use arts, not physical attacks." Estelle nods. Okay. Arts are effective on enemies that are good at avoiding physical attacks. Arts also make long-range attacks possible, but they require time to be cast. EP is consumed when arts are used. EP can be recovered by resting at inns, hotels, or by using charge stations and other items like an EP charge. Arts are effective against foes which are difficult to hit with weapon, or those on which physical attacks have little effect. It takes time before arts can be cast. Also, EP is consumed when arts are cast. All arts have an element. Determine the element most effective against your foe, and use it. Alright. Bleed on you, and Joshua will use Soul Blow just because I want to see what it does. Elemental efficacy, so nothing's good or bad, basically. Oh.
Piece of cake.
And we've got 12 EXP for that one. And a crisp onion. Don't ask me where all those moths were carrying that crisp onion. Joshua says, Estelle, let's try using crafts this time around. Since crafts have other effects besides just dealing out damage, they're worth a shot. Estelle nods. Roger that. Crafts have range limits but can be utilised instantly. CP is gained by dealing out or receiving damage during battle. Crafts are character-specific skills which not only deal out damage but also have a broad range of effects. Using crafts consumes CP. CP is gradually gained by dealing out or receiving damage in battle. So I'm assuming this is sort of like a mini limit break. S-craft. So I'm assuming the S-craft is the full limit break. For now though, we must use morale, which is an area, a medium, it covers a medium area, it is a support, it is a shout to encourage allies, and grants strength plus 20%. Oh yes, lovely.
Come on.
And what can Joshua do? Dual Strike. It's a single target attack, unleashes a double slash with dual blades, 2 hits. Well, he showed it who was boss, and it wasn't happy. You could leave it to your sister to finish it off.
We're good to go.
And 2 more juicy bones and 2 curative horns. No. Let's take a look at the monster card. Dirty rat. Okay. That's handy. Okay. Oh, there's a chest. We got a reviving balm. I presume it does what it says on the packet. Estelle sighs. Oh, what a surprise. Another creepy thing. I wish there were an easy way to take care of them. Joshua replies, one blow using an S-craft or S-break should do the trick for just about any enemy. The catch is, our CP has to be at least 100 to pull off one of those moves. These devastating attacks can only be unleashed when the CP gauge is above 100. S-breaks are actions which allow S-crafts to be immediately unleashed while ignoring the battle order. S-crafts, which are unleashed as S-breaks, can be changed by going to Tactics and then set S-break within the main menu. Oh, and we are both nearly there. S-brakes. These are actions which allow S-crafts to be immediately unleashed while ignoring the battle order once the CP gauge has reached 0. S-crafts, which will be used as S-brakes, can be changed by going to Tactics and then set S-brake within the main menu. Press the red brake button to unleash an S-brake. An S-brake cannot be unleashed under the red button with the blue slash across it condition. Now press the red button, the red brake button, the big red button to try unleashing the S-brake. If you're using a keyboard, you may use the wonderful number keys or the arrow keys to select it before unleashing it. I'm going to use it on you. Pummel.
Here I come!
Oh dear, don't make her angry. Or him.
Alright, we're good to go.
Got 2 curative horns. The door is rusted and appears to be locked. Estelle says, so that's the treasure chest we're after, huh? If we've made it this far, the rest is going to be a piece of cake. Joshua says, seems like we've got a little breathing room at least. Let's pay close attention to our battle order this time. There should be a number of ways to get more mileage out of our actions. During battle, there are several bonuses which can be allotted to turns. Turn bonuses have the same effect regardless of whether they are allotted to an ally or a foe. Using S-brakes to ignore the battle order makes it easy to jump in and strip an enemy of their turn bonus. Battle order bonus. These icons indicate the bonuses allotted to the battle order. If a bonus icon appears next to a character's icon, they will receive that bonus. The blue heart with the 10 is heal HP. The red stone in the red and black is Sepitha, etc. Indicate the effects for each icon. Okay, so I can Sepith up, and I'm going to remove you from the battle order, and we're going to airstrike the moth cluster this time. Ow! Who knew that moths could hit so hard? Ooh, that's not good. Okay. No, we don't have enough for that. Now, I need to tier Joshua. That helped, surprisingly. Okay, so he's gone. key and dual strike you. So why don't I do that?
Come on.
You coming? No? Okay. That's fine. Just going to move you there, then attack you like that. Nope. We got him, yes.
That's that then. Let's move out.
Not a bad haul. Juicy bones and a curative haul. We found a small box by 2. Estelle says, that's weird. There's a couple of boxes inside the treasure chest. The fact that there's not just one, but 2 is kind of interesting too. Wonder what's inside. Joshua cautions, remember Estelle, our mission is to search and retrieve only. I'm pretty sure looking inside those boxes doesn't fall under our mission objective. Estelle sighs, you're no fun at all, Joshua. This has nothing to do with our mission. It's what I like to call good, honest curiosity. You know, we're the only ones down here. We can get away with a teensy-weensy peek, right? Joshua stares at her aghast. If you feel like flunking today's test, then by all means be my guest. Estelle stammers, did you just say the F word? Joshua nods, yep. Opening one of those boxes could result in an automatic fail for the both of us. If this were a real job, the contents of those boxes would belong to the client. And as long as there were nothing illegal, we would have no right to open them. Estelle sighs. I know you're right, Joshua, but I just can't help myself. Joshua suggests, if you absolutely have to know what's inside, why not ask Miss Shero when we get back? But for now, we need to focus on getting out of here. Estelle nods. All right, all right. Yeah, just in case, we will rest. Then back to the surface with us. Scheherazade says, good work, you two. As a rule of trading, I'm going to need to confirm the items in your possession. We handed over the 2 small boxes. Yep, they're the real deal, all right. I don't see any evidence of tampering either. Estelle breathed a sigh of relief. That was a close one. Joshua does the same. I figured she would try and set us up like that. Scheherazade grins. Congratulations to the both of you. You have successfully passed your qualification test. Estelle grins. You didn't really think something that simple would be a problem for us, did you? So, Shera, what's in those boxes you had us get? Scheherazade says, that's for me to know and you to find out after your training is finished. That's enough chit-chat for now, so let's get back to work. You two still have some things left to do. Estelle says, seriously? But didn't you just say that we passed the test? Scheherazade says, you still have to learn about how to report the results of your work. I'm aware that you're both tired, but this is no time to shirk your duties. Let's get back to the guild. Estelle sighs, when is this day going to be over? Oh well, no sense in giving up when the finish line is in sight. Joshua says, agreed. It seems like we're within reaching distance of our goal. We're back at the Bracers Guild. Scheherazade says, your final training is how to report to the guild. Whenever you finish a job, it is your duty to report the results of your work to the guild. Reporting how you resolved the situation and the steps you took to get there are all part of your job as a bracer. You can report your results to the front desk in each guild branch, and as you already know by now, Aina is in charge here at the Relent branch. In addition, this is where you'll be paid for your work. Aina says, I look forward to seeing great things from the both of you. Scheherazade says, now that we're here, why don't you both go ahead and report the results of today's training? Upon approaching the counter, a talk mark will appear. Pressing the OK button will display a list of options. Select Report to report to the guild. Report. Oh, okay. Bracer status. Rank, Junior Bracer 9th class, total BP 0, jobs completed 0. But we have received payment for our training retrieval job of 500 Mira, and we gained 1 BP and completed 1 job, apparently. Current rank is Junior Bracer 9th class. Aina smiles. Good job, you two. It seems like you were able to complete your objective without running into any major problems. Another thing to take note of is that depending on how you handle a job, you may see an increase or decrease in the amount of pay you receive. When you report the results of your work to the guild, pay in the form of Mira isn't the only thing you will receive. You will also accumulate points, which are known as BP or Bracer points. BP are an indication of your achievements as a bracer. When these points exceed a certain value, you will advance in rank as a bracer and be awarded with a piece of special equipment by the guild. The ranks of Junior Bracer start at 9 and go all the way up to 1. Please set your sights on making first rank and work hard. The amount of Mira and BP you receive will also be recorded in your bracer notebooks, so please have a look sometime later on. Scheherazade says, all that's left to do now is finalize your training. Let's head back upstairs, shall we? I'll talk to you later, Aina, and sorry about putting more work on your plate today than usual. Aina says, don't worry about it. Training new bracers is important for the future of the guild. I fully intend to work these two to the bone in any case. Estelle gulps. To the bone? Joshua sighs, and knowing Shera, it'll involve the whip. Scheherazade says, let me say it again. Good work, you two. You have now officially completed the entire training course. From now on, you'll be learning from your own real-world experience. Well then. Scheherazade holds out the 2 small boxes. Estelle asks, aren't those boxes the ones? Scheherazade says, in answer to your question, yes, these are the boxes you retrieved during today's test. You seem awfully curious to find out what's inside, Estelle. Estelle asks, are you saying that it's okay if we open them? Scheherazade nods, that's right. Why don't the both of you have a look and see what's inside? Estelle grins. Sweet. Joshua nods. All right, let's have a look. Estelle and Joshua open the boxes. We received junior bracer emblems. Estelle says, this crest is... Joshua asks, does this mean that we're... Scheherazade says, ahem. Estelle Bright, Joshua Bright, beginning this day at 1500 hours, you are both hereby appointed as junior bracers within the Bracer Guild. From here on, you will work as members of the Bracer Guild to support the livelihood of those around you, defend peace, and uphold justice. Congratulations, you two, and welcome into the fold. Estelle says, did you hear that, Joshua? We've become members of the Bracers Guild. Joshua nods. So I'm a bracer now, I think the realization is only now just beginning to sink in. Estelle says, come on, Joshua. You should be jumping for joy or running around and screaming at the top of your lungs like this. Look at us now, world. We did it. Joshua sighs. I was happy until you made my eardrums bleed. Scheherazade says, I hate to interrupt the celebrations, Estelle, but I need to take off now. I have some backed up work that needs my immediate attention. Estelle says, we understand. You have been spending a lot of extra hours working with us during this busy time for the Guild. Before you head out, Shera, I just wanted to say thanks. Joshua agrees. Likewise, I appreciate all the trouble you've gone through for us, Shera. Scheherazade says, don't mention it. Training new recruits is one of a bracer's many duties. Believe it or not, I was once in your shoes a long time ago when your father Cassius trained me. Estelle asks, so that's why you have so much respect for my dad, huh? Scheherazade says, there's actually much more to it than that, but I'll save that conversation for another day. As for the both of you, work hard to become full-fledged bracers early on, so you can help guide those new recruits who come in after yourselves. And in time, I hope to see you both become respectable bracers like your father. Anyway, I'll leave you with that thought. Estelle says, I just don't get it. Joshua asks, get what? Estelle replies, this is Scheherazade, aka the Silver Streak, one of the most skilled young bracers we're talking about. So why is it that she holds Dad in such high esteem? He just seems like nothing more than a no-good middle-aged man who's always out doing who knows what instead of being a father. Joshua sighs. A no-good middle-aged man, huh? From your viewpoint, it doesn't come as a surprise that you would see him in that fashion. Estelle gasps, huh? Joshua shakes his head. Never mind. Let's hurry and head home. We should let Dad know that we qualified as junior bracers. Estelle nods. Right. Okay, so there's no new jobs that we can take as yet. Ridge says, hi there, Estelle and Joshua. Estelle says, oh hi, Ridge. Ridge says, it looks like your training is over, isn't it? I'm humbled to know that you two are the youngest ever to pass the bracer exam. I look forward to working with you in the same capacity. Joshua nods, ourselves as well. Rich says, I have to get back to work now, but if there's something you don't understand, give me a holler. Luke shouts, hurry up and come on. Pat says, wait for me, Luke. Estelle says, huh? Oh, it's you two. Luke groans, oh great, it's Estelle. Pat says, hi there, Joshua. Estelle Estelle said something that I accidentally passed through there, but then goes on with, and what's the big hurry? How about telling us where you're headed? You're not thinking about wandering out of town alone, are you? The roads are full of monsters, I hope you know. Luke shakes his head. You're such a pest, Estelle. Don't you know there's no room for girls to be sticking their big fat noses in boys' business? Quit acting like you're a bracer, you wannabe. Estelle chides him. Tsk, tsk. How wrong you are, Luke. How incredibly wrong. You're more wrong than a fool who thinks there's better tasting milk in the Burl than the milk that comes from the Purcell farm. Luke stammers, what? No way. You're full of it, Estelle. Estelle thrusts out her chin proudly. In fact, as of just a few minutes ago, we qualified to become real bracers. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Real bracers. Joshua murmurs, more like braces in training, really. Don't think you should be getting on your high horse just yet, Estelle. Now a high pony, on the other hand. Estelle sighs. Quit being a killjoy. Pat cheers. Wow, you two are great. I'm so happy for the both of you. Estelle beams. Oh, Pat, you're such a good little boy. Unlike that smart aleck and cynical brat you call a friend. Luke fumes. This isn't fair. I was supposed to become a bracer first. I can accept that Joshua became a bracer before me, but getting passed by the likes of Estelle. Estelle is not terribly pleased. What's the likes of Estelle supposed to mean? Just so you know, you can't even be a bracer until you're 16 years old. Get it? Only mature people allowed. And that means no little kids who are still going to Sunday school. Joshua groans. I don't know how I should put this, Estelle, but Sunday school is dying to have you back. Luke frowns. You'd better watch out, Estelle. I'm going to train at my secret base, and before you know it, I'm going to be a bracer too. Come on, Pat, let's go. Pat says, all right, I'm coming. See you later, Estelle. Bye, Joshua. Estelle sighs. That boy, Luke, he's always trying to pick a fight with me. I wonder if he just plain hates me or something. Joshua grins. Rather, I think it's the exact opposite. Estelle asks, what do you mean by that? Joshua shakes his head. Don't worry about it. It's just a boy thing. At any rate, what do you think Luke meant when he said secret base? I don't know why, but somehow it makes me a bit curious. Estelle grins. I know exactly what you mean. A secret base sounds really intriguing. The pure heart of a young child can be so inspiring at times. Joshua sighs. That's not really what I meant by curious. Let's see if the paper's ready yet. Hello, Mr. Renon. Renon says, hey there, Estelle and Joshua. How can I help you? Did you manage to become bracers? Estelle beams. You bet we did. Maybe I should have you start calling me Hyper Bracer Estelle from now on. Joshua shakes his head. By the way, Mr. Renon, did the Liberal news come in? Renon says, yeah, it came in a little afternoon. Estelle glares. Don't brush me off like that, you two. Oh, whatever. I'll take one copy then. That comes to 100 mira for a paper. This better be the biggest paper we've ever seen. Anyway, we purchased Libelle News issue 1. Estelle says, I know my dad always buys a copy of this magazine, but does it really sell that well? Renan says, it sure does. The Libelle News has an excellent reporter and camerawoman who has done a great job reporting the latest and most reliable news. They're even supposed to have a running story related to Queen Alicia's birthday celebration. One more thing before you go. This gift is my way of saying congratulations. It's a free sample item I received with my shipment of goods, but don't hold the free part against me. Oh, we got a recipe book. Estelle asks, what's this supposed to be for? There's a ton of blank pages. Joshua says, it's a recipe book, isn't it? Renan replies, you got it. When you get hurt fighting, if you just limit yourself to healing balms all the time, it's going to cut pretty deep into your wallets. This is where a recipe book comes into play. If you eat food to recover your strength instead, it's basically free. Assuming you have all the ingredients anyway. So if you eat something new, write down what's in it, and you'll have lots of recipes in no time. So how about we try this out? Go ahead and eat this cookie, Estelle. We received a maple cookie. Estelle grins. Well, I have made it a personal rule to never turn down sweets. So we ate the maple cookie. And we learnt the maple cookie recipe. Basically, all you have to do is eat the food to learn the recipe. It's as simple as that. As you're travelling about, you should eat whatever food you come across that you haven't had an opportunity to try before. Joshua says, well, that sounds pretty convenient. Estelle sighs, it's not that I don't like cooking and all, it's just that I never seem to get any better. I'd sure love to be able to increase my repertoire and really shock my dad's taste buds for once in my life. Renan cheers her on. That's the spirit. And in passing, if you're in need of any ingredients, I'd be delighted to service your cooking needs. Estelle grins. You really know how to solicit your customers, Mr. Renan. Joshua says, thank you for the recipe book. Put it to good use. Eating the recommended dish at restaurants or using go-to meals adds the recipe to the recipe book. By selecting the recipe book, all learned recipes will be displayed. As long as the necessary ingredients are available, the food can be made. There are two types of food: sit-down meals, which must be eaten on the spot, and to-go meals, which can be carried as items. Sit-down meals cannot be carried as items. Ingredients used for cooking can be bought at a store or acquired from monsters. Alright, so what do you actually have in your shop, sir? Whew. A dirty carrot. Okay, so you do have ingredients. Alright, well, we seem to have made a fair bit of progress for the first episode, so we shall leave off here and pick up, maybe going to see where Luke and Pat have their little secret headquarters. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. We hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you in the next episode.